in addition to the mayor's office, because I suspect that, I suspect that the city's going to want to avail themselves of whatever dollars there are. There's no desire. I saw Ms. Eustine shake her head, so perhaps.
No, Freeholder.
No, okay.
I don't want you to do that.
All right.
Please. Freeholder Bobadilla.
This is a question for Ralph. Ralph, I know these funds are grant funded, right? But is there even an administrative cost that the city of Newark would have to incur as a recipient of this grant?
Well, through you, Madam President, as you know, with all grants, there's very limited admin money, and I think that's the case. I think Newark is making that to operate the program. It's not, it doesn't cost. The costs that they receive in reimbursements are not enough to actually operate the program. So I think that's Newark's position. In terms of a new administration coming in, this, as you know, is a 5-year plan. So they opted out, so I'm not certain of when this 5-year plan is up, and that's why I was checking with the director. It might be to 2018. So really, Newark has really closed the door for an extended period of time.
Okay, thank you. Additional questions, comments on Resolution 7? If not, then, did I see your hand, Freeholder Gill?
I'm sorry, no.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion and a second to take Freeholder Johnson?
Ralph, through you, Madam President. Ralph, how long is it open for if Newark wanted to get in at this point?
I think what I just said is this is part of a 5-year plan. I'm not certain when the 5-year period is up. It might be 2018. If that's the case, the next time Newark could opt in would be 2018.
Okay, additional questions, comments, Freeholders? No additional questions, no comments. I have a motion and a second to take Resolution 6 and 7 together. Freeholder Bobadilla moved it. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Freeholder Clark. No additional question, comments. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Vice President Sebo?
Yes.
Freeholder Owens?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Clark?
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla?
Yes.
Freeholder Beasley absent. Freeholder President Watson?
Yes.
So moved.
We're going to take 8 and 9 together, Madam Clerk, and we'll read it into the record at a later time. Ralph, we'll start with an explanation of Resolution 8 at this time.
8 is from our Department of Health and Rehabilitation, our Division of Hospital Center. This is a 2-year affiliation agreement with John Jay College. This is for their students in the college psychology doctorate program. This is a renewal agreement. As you know, we have other affiliation agreements, and I'll just run through them real quick, with Montclair State, Kane, ACAP, Rutgers, Yeshiva, FTU, Seton Hall, and Felician.
Okay.
Resolution number 9, Office of the Sheriff Contract Award to Clearview Data Systems, the sole responsible bidder for maintenance and support for a DataWorks Photo Manager System, 24-month contract, $117,141.72. This is grant funded, and this is primarily the software and the to conduct the fingerprinting and photographs of inmates and detainees at our jail.
Okay, very good. Mr. McInerney, any questions, comments on either?
Not on this,
8
no.
or 9? None? Mr. Polyvecchio, questions, comments?
No, thank you.
No, none? Okay, Freeholders, questions on Resolution 8? Freeholder Luciano?
It's not a question, but through you, Madam President, I just want to put on the record, every time I see one of these agreements, Mr. Chiella, I get excited. I think that it's very important for students all over to have the firsthand experience, and our hospital center is a tremendous place for that experience. So thank you, and thank the administration.
Very good. Additional comments or questions on 8? Resolution 9, Freeholders? No additional questions or comments on Resolution, no comments or questions on Resolution 9. The Chair, Madam Clerk, would take a motion and second to take 8 and 9 together. Moved by Freeholder Clark.
Yep.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Second by
Madam
Freeholder Luciana. Roll call, Madam Clerk?
Freeholder Beasley, absent. Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark.
Yes.
Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Sebo.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Madam Clerk, we will take 10 through 18 together. They are all budget insertions. And Ralph, we'll start with an explanation of the budget insertion, and we'll start at 10 and go to 18. We'll take them all together.
This is a grant from the State Division of Highway Traffic Safety for their Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over. It's a $4,000 grant for the Office of the Sheriff. Resolution 11 is revenue from the State of New Jersey for our Department of Health, Special Child and Early Intervention Services, for our Division of Community Health Service, roughly $1.2 million. This program is to work with early intervention services for special need children. It promotes early identification, evaluation, and treatment of children with special needs. Resolution number 12 is revenue from the State of New Jersey. This is for case management services for our Division of Community Health Service, $279,659. This is a comprehensive continuation of services to the families and children who have special needs up to the age of 21 years old. And this is a partnership between the family, the community, and the service providers of these special need children. Resolution 13, revenue from the State of New Jersey, Department of Human Services, for the Personal Assistance Service Program, $130,000. This is for oversight of the PASP program for monitoring, billing, and distribution of funds for attendant services for each of the program participants between the ages of 18 and 70. I know at our leadership meeting, Madam President, you want to know what happens to the individuals after the age of 70. Then they're referred over to our Division of Senior Services for services. Resolution number 14, revenue from the Department of Human Services. This is out of the Division of Family Development, Social Services for the Homeless, Division of Community Action, $3,618,621. These service dollars are for homeless, immediate assistance to homeless and those who are impacted by hunger and who do not have emergency assistance. Resolution number 15, revenue from the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependency, New Jersey for Substance Abuse Initiative Program. This is for our Division of Welfare, $70,000. This grant primarily covers the salary and wages of one of our family service workers assigned to the Office of Special Services. Resolution 16, revenue from the Department of Human Services, Division of Family Development. This is for our Division of Employment and Training, $11,790,011. This is for program year July 1, 2014 through June 30th, 2015. And this is for a variety of mandated welfare reform activities and services for TANF clients, case management, transportation, and transportation-related expenses. Resolution 17, revenue from the State of New Jersey Department of Labor for a Division of Training and Employment for the Workforce Investment Act for dislocated workers, $2,507,134. This is for a core and intensive services job training that assists residents in acquiring vocational skills and employment. Adult, $1,134,000, and dislocated, $1,372,000. Resolution 18, revenue from the State of New Jersey Department of Labor, Workforce Investment Act. This is for our youth funding, $1,142,342. Again, for core and intensive services, plus job training, so clients can acquire skills and employment.
Okay, and for the record, all 10 through 18, we will be voting to insert these items of revenue from the state. Am I correct?
That is correct. This
The
is just the
only-
insertion.
Just the insertion, allowing us to receive the money and insert it into the budget.
That is correct.
That's what we're voting on. Okay, Mr. McInerney.
Yes, I have a couple of questions. Are we going to go on, can I skip around, or
Okay.
are you just going to go on
I
11?
think, let's make it easier for everybody to follow. I think that might be the best way for us to handle since we've taken so many. Let's start with Resolution 10 for question, comments, freeholders. Resolution 10. And they're all insertion of items from the state. Resolution 10, question, comments. Resolution 11, question, comments.
Madam President,
Yes,
I-
Mr. McInerney.
just one, question is that there's an in-kind match here that's required, but it doesn't delineate what it's for, what kind of match.
Through Madam President, if I could ask Ms. Jackie Houston to come to the mic.
Our in-kind match.
Your name again for the record. Could you adjust the mic for her, please?
Talk loud. Jim, thank you. Jackie Eustein, Director of Community Health Services. The in-kind is the provision of space, electricity, and all of those things that, and also health services.
Okay.
Okay, well, Jackie, I'm sorry, Ms. Elston, don't leave the mic. I'm gonna see if you have any questions from the board. Board members, do you have any questions from Mr. Stevens? Okay, thank you. Let's go to Resolution 12. Freeholders? No questions, no comments. Mr. McInerney, no questions or
Other than-
comments on
9
12?
and 12, no.
None. Freeholder,
Other than to say that
Clark.
11 and 12 pretty much are the same,
Same.
are they the same program? They're just dollars coming in from different spots, or are they different?
One's
The
early.
programs are different. The first program, Early Intervention, is for children from birth to 3.
Okay.
And that's more of a hands-on program. The children are evaluated for delayed development, and we monitor the providers and make sure that our hope is that by the age of 3, most of the children will catch up. The other program is from birth to 21, and that's a program for children with catastrophic problems. Or it could be cerebral palsy, it could be a heart defect, it could be any number of catastrophic illnesses that children get. And with that one, we help the families sort of maneuver through the various programs that are offered.
Thank you.
okay, no additional questions on 12. Let's go to 13. No questions, comments on 13. 14, freeholders. Freeholder Park.
Personal assistance services, is this?
Are we on 14?
With 13?
You want to go back to 13? Okay, we go back to 13.
Oh, yeah, what kind of personal assistance?
The personal assistance program is for people who need a personal assistant to come in and help them get dressed, help them get out for the day. To be eligible for the program, you have to be working, volunteering, or going to school for a minimum of 20 hours a week. And the personal assistance is the one that comes in and helps people who have serious
But you have to have
issues.
a developmental disability.
You have to have a developmental disability.
But you're also trying to work through it.
It allows people who have disabilities
Okay.
get out in the community
Gotcha.
and function.
That's good.
It is good.
Okay. Let's go to 14, freeholders. Mr. McInerney, before I ask the freeholder for comments.
The only question, on 14, the administration fees associated with this grant, which is pretty sizable, $3.6 million, is roughly about 5%, or it's $172,000. Are these administrative fees adequate with regard to the size of these grants, G&A that are allowed to be charged? Because there has been some discussion from some of the organizations that this...
If I could have Maurice Brown, the director, speak on that.
Maurice Brown, Acting Director for the Division of Community Action. Yes, it is sizable, but with the amount of program monitoring that we do and making sure that the reporting is adequate, with the overseeing of the agencies that are selected, it really does take quite a yeoman's job to really do. So the 5% is what is needed.
I wasn't saying it wasn't needed. I'm saying it's tight. I'm saying just the opposite. I'm saying it appears even from some of the other grants that we give to some of our recipients, our community-based organizations, some of the issues have been that the G&A associated with these grants are rather slim. And I'm looking at this even from the county's point of view, how difficult it is to do all the things you just said on some of these very slim, margins allowed for the G&A as opposed to program services.
Understood.
Okay. So would you agree with that, or?
We're trying to negotiate with the state, but unfortunately, that's what the state allows us.
Okay. But there is an attempt, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Freeholder Bobadilla?
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, I know for a fact that a lot of the state contracts that we receive from the federal government, a lot of them also just give an allowance of 5% to the state themselves. And so it's kind of, I think, a trickle-down margin sometimes, if you will.
Okay, additional questions, comments, freeholders? Freeholder Clark?
Do we have a breakdown of the breakdown? By that I mean the SSH, TANF, SSBG, and state SSBG. Those dollars are going to go to, are they going to a specific providers to then dole out, or are they going to be doled out as cash
No.
awards?
Through you, Madam President, they will be, we have actually received the responses for the RFPs. We're evaluating the agencies, the vendors that would be participating and getting the reimbursements of what they put out.
That's the part that I'm, okay. Well, we have a meeting coming up anyway. So through you, Madam President, to you, Mr. Chilella, that then we should be able to, by then, know who, or have an idea of who some of the agencies are that are going to actually receive these dollars to then disperse them to the citizenry or the citizens that are in need, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, in all 4 of those categories, or just in 2 or 3 of them?
All 4 of the categories.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Sheldon, that information should be ready for the committee meeting for discussion.
I believe that was an agenda item. The good news is that Mr. Brown and his department, this funding, as you know, the state has opted to give us 6 months funding. They would like us to get on their fiscal year. So the good news is we're ahead of the curve. These contracts start July 1.
I was about to,
And as you know, in the past, many times the state, with the notice to proceed, or notice of obligation, is later in the year, and these agencies that provide the services are in the hole, providing services, waiting for reimbursements. This year, I think Mr. Brown should be commended for bringing this process to us early, and hopefully we'll be able to get the funds to the agencies on a more timely basis.
and Madam President, thank you, Ralph, for bringing that up, because it is clear that we were ahead of the curve, because when you said that you were now going to, but here's the other question. There's two types of funding. One type of funding is specifically for operations. In other words, it's specifically geared towards the operation of the program by the agency. And then there's another type of funding that is specifically geared to get out into people's hands so that they can survive. So which one is this?
This, right now, this is inclusive of everything, their case management and the
operation.
prevention
Okay.
services.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, additional questions, freeholders? Let me just, for clarity again, for my, just so that I can clearly understand. When we say that we're going on the state level contract for June, July, would that also be for agencies that's providing training? Because I think that's one of the issues or problems. We are not on the state budget.
Madam President, it's,
Way
each state department is unique in their own way of distributing funds. As they receive it from Washington, they'll dole it down to the counties or municipalities. What we've been noticing is there's a pattern by most of the state agencies to try to get the funding cycle to coincide with their fiscal year. So most of the state agencies are trying to adopt that model. Not all are there yet, but we believe that that's the intent.
So my question is that why we have some issues with some of our vendors when they're not receiving the checks for their services on a timely basis? What would hold up if I'm doing training and I submit my bill to the county? Why is it that I would not receive the checks as I submit the bill?
I would not like to venture to give you a generic answer. I think each case is specific as to why bills aren't being reimbursed or why aren't being processed. I don't want to even venture to say missing paperwork. I don't know. Each case is different, Madam President. So I think we'll have to dive into that particular matter and see why.
So the fiscal year does not have an impact on
The only
service.
impact that vendors have is when this county receives a obligation letter from the state of New Jersey. If the contract starts July 1, and as we've seen in the past, the state in October, November provides us with a letter awarding us funding, that's an obvious. The state is slow in processing. The vendors penalize not anything that they've done or this board has done, but the process of awarding funds from the state to the local governments. That's an inherent problem in government, unfortunately. We've tried to clean that up as much as we could. In this contract that we're speaking of now with Mr. Brown, we would normally receive the notice of obligation in October. And some of these agencies are providing services for 7, 8 months.
That was my
And
question.
that is a problem that we tried to address seriously last year. And we could say that we've had success in this program.
All right. I know that was a discussion in the meeting with Freeholder Clark, and we wanted to try to get a better understanding of why is it that the agencies provide the services and then it takes so long for us to, they'll come before the board or they'll send letters to the board saying they provide the services but they're not receiving the payments. I think, Freeholder Clark, maybe in your meeting again, we just need to reiterate why, to make sure it's clear to the vendors and also to the committee members why we keep hearing, why is it that some of the vendors they're constantly advising this board that they are not receiving their payment. Okay?
Right. Absolutely. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions or comments, freeholders, on Resolution 14? Resolution 15? 60?
What, you said Resolution?
15? Resolution 16? 17?
Madam
I'm sorry, go back to 16.
16. This is our allocation for our TANF clients, is that it?
Through you, Madam President, that is correct.
This is
And
their
it is the same funding as last year.
It's the same what?
Same funding level as last year.
And these are cash benefits?
These are for mandated welfare services that include case management, transportation, and transportation-related services,
Okay.
job search, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay? Freeholder Clark?
And all of these services are being provided by, in-house, by our Essex County Division of Welfare?
No, through you, Madam President, these are the contracts that are provided by outside vendors. Some of the services might be done by Essex County College, some may be done at our one-stop, but a majority of these funds are provided by agencies throughout Essex County.
Okay. Okay. I think that's the one this is the one I have some further questions on, but go ahead, Madam President.
Okay, freeholders, Resolution 17. Mr. McInerney, if I'm coming to one and you want to have any comments or questions?
There's no comments on 16 or
None?
17 from me, Madam
Okay.
President.
Resolution 17. Resolution 18. Okay, freeholders, we would take,
If I might, Madam President,
okay, Mr.
on
McInerney?
Resolution 18, is that,
Okay,
there was something in there that the grant is for 2 years, and it ends on June 30th, 2015, but it says the availability funds goes on to June 30th, 2016. So I was just a little confused by that. Do you actually have an extra year to spend the money? They do?
I believe on this particular contract, that's the contract parameters from the state.
Okay, thank you.
okay, additional questions, freeholders? Freeholder Clark?
I'm looking at this on my screen.
Are we on 18, freeholder Clark?
No, I'm not. Actually, I do want to go back with your permission.
Which resolution?
16.
Let's go back to 16, freeholders.
I'm looking at it on my screen. I see an amount of $11 million. I see 3 categorical breakdowns. It talks about a link to third-party contracts. They are not in our packet. So where are they? So that we could see, I mean, am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something. That's what I'm saying. Now, if I'm not, then just say, Carol, you're way off base.
Through you, Madam President, I think you're jumping the gun. Tonight, we're just putting the money into our bank account. The department is conducting an RFP evaluation, and then those
Okay, so
vendors
in
will be
other
approved by
words-
this body.
In other words, we are actually on point for a change, and we're so accustomed to being behind and doing things backwards that now that it's being done correct, okay, good. So now, those third-party contracts, we will have an opportunity to review them. And so I am correct. This is the one that I am going to have some questions relative to, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. So I can just keep my powder dry and hold my horses until we get there, correct?
Absolutely, but I would also say you'd also have questions on 17.
All righty then, no problem. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Additional questions, comments, freeholders? None, Madam Clerk, I'll be asking for a motion
Motion.
to take resolutions 10 through 18.
Right.
Moved by Freeholder Bobadilla. Do I have a second?
You'll get, yeah, I got it. I'll second.
Second by Freeholder. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Vice President Sebo?
Yes.
Freeholder Owens?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Clark?
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla?
Yes.
Freeholder Beasley absent. Freeholder President Watson?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, we'll take 19 and 20 again. Madam Clerk, read it into the record at a later time. And Mr. Chiala, will you explain Resolution 19 and then go to 20?
Department of Parks contract with Rutgers Cooperative Extension Services for Essex County residents, 2014, $60,000. The services that Rutgers provides for the county is agricultural, resource management, community health services, 4-H youth development, urban gardening, water quality, and aquaculture programs. They've been our partners for many years, and we do have a representative from Rutgers with us this evening.
Okay, will you have the representative come forward, please?
My name is Jan Zientek. I'm the Rutgers Cooperative Extension Department Chair for Extension in Essex County.
Okay, you want to give us a briefing on exactly what your services you will provide, what services you will provide to the county?
Cooperative Extension is involved with providing youth development programs through 4-H. We run the Master Gardener program that's involved in projects in restoration and maintenance of the trees in Branch Brook Park. We're working on Eagle Rock Reservation, restoring the meadow there. We have Master Gardeners available for youth and educational programs in gardening throughout the county. The Master Gardeners run a senior horticulture program once a month where many of the residents, seniors, are able to drop in and participate in horticultural activity. We've launched a veterans training program this year. 15 veterans are now being trained in sustainable landscape management and horticulture. We provide consultation with county parks and public works on issues of resource management, water quality. A little bit nervous. We also have health services and nutrition education programs provided by our staff.
Very good. So don't be nervous. I said, we don't want you to be nervous. You're providing good services. Mr. McInerney, no questions on
I
this?
don't have any questions on this contract.
Freeholder Vice President Sebo.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'm very pleased that each year we renew a contract with Rutgers Cooperative Extension Program, and I'm happy that Rutgers is willing to do this with us. I also know Jan Zientek well because he is on the Open Space Trust Fund Advisory Board with me, so I see him on a regular basis, and I'm very familiar with the excellent work that he does, and I'm very happy that he's here, and we're going to continue dealing with him in the future for the wonderful work that he does.
Very good. Additional, Freeholder Bobadilla.
If I heard you right, there's a new component this year with the veterans
Yes.
landscape. Does that also extend as far as employment opportunities for them and placement?
It's intended to be a job training program. We're focusing on helping people start their own business. So there's entrepreneurial training that we provide in the program.
Thank you.
Freeholder Gill?
Thank you, Madam President. This is a great program. I'm glad to see that we're doing this and supporting it. I just had a follow-up question. The Sustainable Landscape and Stormwater Management Job Skills Training Program, is that program, is that a relatively new program? And one, I know that the Brookdale Park Conservancy just did a project through that program with the East Orange Veterans Hospital, where they planted, I guess, a series of trees in.
No, that's the program.
That's the program itself. But I guess the follow-up is, it's a job training program, 1. 2, is it a new program? And 3, I mean, it's a great program, so I'm wondering, is there anything else more we can do to be, supporting its expansion?
Well, thank you. This is the Veterans Training Program began about 6 years ago, 2008. They began a gardening program at the VA hospital, and it grew into a training program for veterans there. We had some success. We were surprised, actually, with that a couple of the veterans went out and started their own landscape maintenance business. The VA paid attention to that, and they made it a more formal program. But there were issues with some of the VA, and we never received full compensation for the program, to cover the cost of the program. So we wound up moving it outside the VA. We're still associated with the VA, but we found outside funding. So right now the veterans receive a stipend while they're in this 8-month training program. So it began 6 years ago and evolved into this new project. It is a pilot. We're located at 555 MLK. We're at the community center of Metropolitan Baptist Church, right across from the Arts High School, where we were bouncing around Newark for the first couple of weeks, and this facility just opened for us last week. And at that site, we now have the classes with the veterans, and we are working on different projects in the county park system. We'll be doing restoration in the city and other communities. And one of those activities was planting 26 dogwoods at Brookdale Park. And there was also a little bit of self-service there. Rutgers Cooperative Extension nationwide is celebrating its 100th anniversary in existence, and as part of that, Rutgers provided 26 dogwoods to Brookdale Park. So it was a training program, and it was also a little bit to promote our existence of 100 years.
Continue. Freeholder Gill.
So the veterans are actually trained in that by the master guard.
No, this is Rutgers staff and faculty that are providing training. So we have lectures, and then we supplement the lectures with hands-on activities. Some in the county parks. We've discussed with the park superintendent the installation of a youth tee at Wicklake Park. So in that case, the park's golf course superintendent would instruct the veterans, and they would have the experience of installing the golf tee. So we're looking for learning activities that complement the lectures that we've been giving.
Freeholder Bobadilla.
I can't speak for my colleague, but I think that with the latest news surrounding the VA hospital on a federal level, I can only say that I'm proud that the state university and the county at that local level is playing such a beneficial role for our veterans, because I think sometimes they don't get what they're due. So I'm glad to see that.
Okay. Additional questions, comments, freeholders on Resolution 19? Freeholder Clark.
I just want to shout out Rutgers. Go RU. Class of 72.
All right.
Freeholder Vice President Seabold.
I just want to add that you now can see why we are very lucky that Mr. Zantek serves on the Open Space Trust Fund Advisory Board. He makes a wonderful addition.
Okay, do we have any other comments? If not, let's go to resolution. Thank you so much, sir. Let's go to resolution 20. Freeholders.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't
Did we read
explain
20?
this.
No, we want to read that into the, I want to explain resolution 20. We will, the clerk will be reading into the record 19 and 20 at a later time.
Okay.
So will you explain 20?
20 is our Department of Parks contract award to the Weequahic Sports Authority to provide recreational services and activities at Weequahic Park, amount not to exceed $26,902. This is a contract from date of award through October 31st. In your packet, you'll see a list of program activities that Weequahic Park Sports Authority will be providing. We did receive 3 proposals. Weequahic Park Sports Authority received the highest score, lowest cost, and they will be receiving $5,380.40 per month.
Okay. Additional freeholders, questions, comments on 20? No questions? Freeholder Clark?
No question or comment.
Okay. No questions, no comments?
I have comment,
We
not
didn't
a
hear the
question.
comment at this time.
Mr. Chilella? You are indeed a good egg. It has been a very, very long time coming. Doug, Mr. Wadu, it's a start. My hope is that it is just the beginning of an extraordinarily long and fruitful partnership between the Weequahic Park Sports Authority and the County of Essex. I think you have a very good partner. I can see a conservancy growing out of this that is going to make everybody that's part of it proud of it. Because I believe that the people who are at the heart of it and at the helm of it really, really, really do want to make a positive difference in the lives of the children and the people, adults, that are in that area. So to Doug, your wife, and to Mr. Wadu, congratulations. It's a small start, but the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. This is your first step. Make the most of it. And to Freeholder Owens, I know you've been there every step of the way with this as well, so congratulations to you too, sir.
Okay. Okay, additional comments, questions, freeholders?
Madam Chairman,
Yes, Freeholder Owens.
agree with my colleague, Freeholder Clark, that Weequahic Park has needed a lot of work, and finally we're getting some of it put together, and I appreciate the cooperation that I get from Mr. Cielo and Ralph and Danny and some of the other persons that work in the freeholder office and for the county that helping to put this program together. And my friend Wadu and Doug, who really have their park in the best in their heart, and they really try hard to make it a successful park. And I'm happy to be a part of that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Shiala?
I would just like to add to that list of freeholders who've supported this project. Freeholder Johnson, who attends our monthly meeting, has been a strong advocate. So I just want to give kudos to Freeholder Johnson as well.
Thank you, Val.
And I think with us setting up the meetings after discussing it, and having the monthly meetings makes a difference in understanding both the park association and also the county, because you have to have dialogue. You can't just assume things are not getting done. If you have your monthly meetings and you guys tell us what it is that you see you want us to do as a county, and then we have representative from the board and also from the administration and Danny from the park, we can get some things done. And I think that's the only way we're going to get it done. We can't get it done arguing and screaming and distrusting each other. We have to work together, and I agree with you, Freeholder Clark. Next year will be another time for you to put your bid in, and if you can prove that you're very successful, there's no telling how much you would be able to accomplish